The holiday season is here, we're in it, it's humming, and in what feels like a few short weeks, it will have come and gone. That sounds like a really sad thing to say out loud. So we're saying today, intentionally create your Christmas and make the moments last. Life coach Tiffany Peterson is here to tell us how. You're like Christmas, you just bring that spirit. Thank you for being here. So when we say create your Christmas, design your Christmas, you're not saying it has to be the perfect Christmas.
And that doesn't exist, right? Like when you think about it. I love this topic because all year round this principle is powerful, is the power of intention, being more intentional with what you're creating in your life, but especially at the holidays, because the holidays are naturally laden with shoulds, expectations, FOMO. We've got to do it all.
Yes.
And sometimes if we're not clear and creating with intention, that's when we are more susceptible to feeling the exhaustion, the worn out, the stress, and all the pressure versus more intentionally creating what you want.
Yeah, you let yourself get swept away in it and you miss what you set out or hoped to feel in the first place. So we're going to recognize that power. And then you say we have to realize our choice.
Yeah. So again, coming back to for each of you thinking about what do I want to create for me? What would be my ideal holiday season? What are the core fun things, activities, traditions that I want for me and my home? And the more that you take ownership to choose that it's like, I'm going to be clear about what I'm creating, right? I think clarity is so powerful, and the more clear you are, the easier it is to create. And I think those are really powerful principles to put together is clarity leads to creation. And so the more that you're thinking, what does this feel like for me? What would that look like, feel like? What would matter most to me and my family?
Yeah.
Then the easier it is to say no to things, to not be swept up in it, and to come home to your heart.
Well, you talk about how this principle applies year round, and I can see how it does, but especially this time of year, as you so beautifully described, like you have to be anchored in what you want and what you're seeking. Otherwise, a simple Instagram scroll is going to knock you over thinking you have to do A, B, and C.
Exactly. Or all that, like, hey, we should do this, should do that.
Right.
I need to do it at this level versus just saying, what matters most to me? What's the feeling? A great clarity question is, what do I want to feel more of this season? What's the intention? What's the desire for me, my family? What is it when we think about that it's the end of the holiday season, that we've had a very nourishing one or an intentional one for us?
You say hopes have a part of this conversation as well, and that could take some discovery.
Yeah, absolutely. Is dropping into that and even enrolling your own family and kids and asking them similar questions, which is, you know, what would be your favorite things to do this season? And what would matter most to you? What would help you feel, or what lights you up the most? And including them within the conversation.
So everyone has a buy-in to this emotion or to this commitment. And when we talk about creating, once you've analyzed what you want, you've identified and articulated hopes, then you say you can start to create the kind of Christmas that you want for your family.
Exactly. And again, a lot of it's just tuning in and asking what's right and nourishing for you, because again, there's so many shoulds that exist and opportunities. And you might decide, hey, look, for our family, we're not committing to more than 3 outings a week. We want more time at home watching a Christmas movie, reading a Christmas carol together, or reading a good book, or our holiday things. We're doing these things. And on the flip side, you might say, we want to do it all. We want to go to all the concerts. We want to be out and about. And for us, that's nourishing. That's what matters, is that you give yourself the power to choose what's best for you and your home as you create in your holiday season.
We're coming up on the new year, and I think of that movement, the one little word, OLW, that so many women latched onto decades ago and still practice. I find myself thinking that could almost serve you this time of year too, for a season. Like, what's the word I want to feel, or the word I want to center my decisions around?
Yeah. So what would be your word that you want to create this holiday season?
My word would be probably tradition.
Okay.
I think the older I get, you recognize and realize how the women that went before me sacrificed to make things happen. And I think it's those traditions that cement the joy that I feel toward Christmas. What would be your word? Do you have a word?
Well, I keep saying this word, nourishing.
Nourishing.
Is I really think, so for you and any one of you watching, is asking yourself, what would be my keyword? I love that coaching. And then deciding, that helps you make decisions. And what would tradition look like for you in terms of scents and smells and, you know, baking things and stories, and what feels like tradition to you. for me, the word nourishment is, does this nourish me? Because
Yeah.
literally and symbolically, this season can be very sugary.
Yes.
And I want more substance. I want my spirit to be nourished this season.
I love that, Tiffany.
And so for me to have things that nourish my spirit and my home, my relationships, while I love all the extra fun and play, it's also, I want my spirit and my home nourished with the things that matter most.
See, this is powerful. This is
Yeah,
powerful. This is
right?
good. If you want to do more of this, I'm just going to suggest something for your own little Christmas list.
Yay.
This came out last month.
Yeah, we just launched this last month, My Creation Journal. It's a daily gratitude journal and coming back to vision and creation.
Yes. Where do we get one?
Amazon.
I've been flipping through the pages and I love it. I love the prompts, I love the guides, and I love that you can use this as a daily path, a daily step anyway toward that path we're creating. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, friend.